Hey YouTube, Ken Hill here with Gun Scared Freedom. Today I'd like to show you guys how to take apart the Mossberg Maverick Model 88 and how to put it back together again so that you can clean it. If you follow along with what I'm about to show you, you should be able to do it too. Before we get started, I just wanted to point out that you might want to grab yourself a punch or a screwdriver because you're going to need it here in a few minutes. Alright, to start with, we're going to want to safety check this gun and make sure it's completely empty. Since it's a shotgun, it's going to have a tube right here that holds the rounds. We're going to look in there first, and as you can see, there's absolutely nothing in there. And then we're going to go ahead and open up the action, and there's nothing in the chamber. Nothing, it's empty. So we're safe to proceed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do to make it easier to continue is we're going to want to open up the bolt, and to do that we'll just slide that back. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go down here to this screw and we're going to start screwing it out, and that will let us take the barrel off. It's a long-winded screw. Once the screw is loose, you should be able to just hold here and pull the barrel off, but mine's not loose enough yet, I see. There. The barrel will just slide right out, so it just comes right out, and we'll set that off to the side. With the barrel off the shotgun, you can now take your screwdriver or your punch, and we're going to go ahead and remove this pin right here. Just push down on it, and then we'll go ahead and remove it. We'll set that off to the side. Now that we have removed the pin and set it up to the side, we can now just raise up on this trigger group assembly, and it comes right out. We'll set that off to the side too. Now that we have removed the trigger assembly, we're going to go ahead and go inside the shotgun. Next, we're going to remove this little rod right here, and this is the cartridge interceptor. If we can get it out of there, sometimes it's a pain. Just kind of wiggle it, it should fall out. It fell out, and that's what it looks like. And we're going to set it off to the side. Another thing that fell out was the cartridge stop. It looks similar, but it's different. It goes on the other side. The very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the action right back to where you see that the action actually lines up right here, and I'm just going to grab it and pull it right out and set it off to the side. Next, we have this little guy. We're going to pull it up and squeeze here and here, and put our finger in here and slide this ahead while we're squeezing on this, and that will come out. Set it off to the side, and now we can take the bolt right out by sliding it forward and lifting it and wiggling it out of there. Oops. And that's the bolt. Now the only thing left to do is pull the forearm off, and it slides right out. And now you have an empty receiver with nothing in there whatsoever. Okay, now we're going to put this thing back together. We're basically going to do everything we did, only in reverse. It's pretty simple if you follow along. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bolt, we're going to lay it in up front here, and then we're going to slide it about halfway back. So about right there. We're going to take this part here with the squishy ends. Notice they have nubs on each end. There's holes down in here that will basically right there and one on the other side, and you'll basically squeeze this into place to go into those holes. Make sure the bolt doesn't get in your way. Sometimes it does. Push it down and it's in. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to position our bolts so that it lines up with this stuff, because the action, which is this part, this little slot has to go into the bolt right here. So we're going to drop that in right on top, and it will ride just like that. The next thing is we can take our forearm and we can put it on. This part's the fun part. Got to get the little arms in there. Okay, after some fighting with it, I got my forearms started, and it's just a matter of getting things lined up and it will go in, even though it doesn't seem like it will. It's just a matter of getting them lined up in their channels, and it's hard to do when I'm laying the shotgun on the table. So the next thing we're going to do, you should be able to see this part right here that was moving when I moved the forearm. We've got to get the action basically just kind of lined up like that. So the action has a slot right there and right there that the forearms basically reach into. And now we can go ahead and add our cartridge stop and our cartridge interceptor back into the gun. You'll notice that on the cartridge interceptor there is a little nub there, and there's a hole right there. That's where that one goes. It's impossible to mess that up, but let me warn you now, these things don't like to stay still. They like to fall out on you several times, so you might want to hold them in with your fingers because they are a pain, and that goes for both of them. Don't worry if you don't get it your first time. Believe me, I didn't. Okay, now that both the cartridge stop and the cartridge interceptor are back in, we can take our trigger assembly, and for all fun and games, we can put it back in. Hopefully we don't knock anything off, like the interceptor and the there we go. Basically it just goes right into place, and then you're going to take your pin that you popped out with your punch, and it doesn't matter what side you slide it through this hole, just as long as you slide it through and make sure it's in there and flush on both sides. Okay, now we're ready to add our barrel back on. Adding the barrel back in is easy, as long as you have your bolt back. It's pretty simple. You're just basically going to slide your barrel into your receiver. It should go in pretty simple, maybe with a little bit of wiggling. And then down here you'll have the screw, and you'll just want to tighten it up. Sorry about all the camera movement. Doing this all by myself today. Helps if you put the bolt forward after you get the barrel inserted. Helps run the screw in. And now that the screw's in, the whole gun is back together and complete. I always like to do an action check just to make sure all the parts are back and functioning. Perfect. If you found this video tutorial entertaining and informative, please click the like button. It really helps me out. Also, don't forget to subscribe because it will help you keep up to date on all my newest and latest video releases for my channel. As always, if you feel like it, please share my videos with your friends. It might help them out. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day.
Hey guys, we're out here at the range today, and I've got the Mossberg Maverick Model 88. We're going to do some shooting with it. I wanted to bring out some clays today.